Imagine making $200 billion in just 1 hour. Well, that's what Nvidia did today. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. Nvidia is literally on the cusp of finally becoming a $1 trillion company. Now, the question that I'm asking is it overvalued? Is this an overreaction? We can talk about that later. I'm going to be talking about it during my live trading session tomorrow with the LPP team. Friendly reminder, I do trade live every single day. You don't have to join, but if you want to be able to watch me trade live every day, I do work with one team and one team only, and that's that second link in the description down below. And yes, you do get access to my live trading session every single day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start sharing my screen and break this down. So first off, because of Nvidia, the NASDAQ reacted in a very positive way, where not only did it make up, right? Because the NASDAQ market closed down 0.5%. Not very bad, not very good, whatever, right? After market hours, at one point, I think it was up like 1.6, 1.7%. It closed 1.4% in the green. That's for NASDAQ. TQQQ closed 4.28% in the green. I closed out my trade, and let me tell you, I sold early, and I wanted to use myself as an example. Trust me, right? Just like when I shared myself as an example, what was it, yesterday? I sold early yesterday. I could have made like 25K profit. I walked away with 4K. For those that are unaware, I trade with a little bit over $500,000. So please do not compare your profits or losses to mine. Most of you guys are probably just getting started. Your accounts should reflect someone that's just getting started. Just understand that everything is something to work towards, right? $7,000 is what I walked away with today. I don't want to complain about it. The reason I want to say that is I was down a little bit over 2.5K today. My first two trades, all caught in my live trading session, again with the LPP team. They get to see my good trades, they get to see my bad trades. It's just a raw live stream. Just think about that. And I owned up to my mistake. I shared it with them during that live, but I also recapped of like, I'm going to stay super patient, right? I looked at the 5-minute time frame. I was like, I'm not going to re-enter TQQQ until we break above that EMA. And that's exactly what happened. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, and again, this is just me, right? But maybe this is just me. You guys have to let me know down in the comment section. I sold after market hours right away, even before it hit $31 a share. I think my average sell price was like $30.81. I shared it with the LPP team. But it gapped up all the way to highs of nearly $32. It gapped up over $1 per share from where I sold it at. So I missed out. Again, I don't know if you guys have ever done the math, but from where I entered to the highs that it hit, obviously there's no such thing as a perfect trader, but why not kick myself when I'm down, right? 5.92% is the total movement that it offered today if I was a perfect trader, which of course I am not, right? I sold at 30.81, and of course, why wouldn't I want to calculate what I missed out on? I'll just calculate from what it would have been if I would have just held, right? 2.65%. 2.65%, again, a little bit over $500,000. That would have been, give or take, that would have been like 12, 13K, right? Wow. I actually didn't know it was that much. So I would have cleared over $20,000 today. But again, I kept reminding myself I was going to re-enter TQQQ. But again, using myself as an example, how many times have you entered a position, you close it, you're in the green, it keeps running up, you have FOMO, you re-enter, and then it goes red. And then that's the worst feeling, right? Not just does that open trade go red, but then you end up red for the day. I've made that mistake, I can promise you, more times than you have. And I love using myself as an example, not just for my good days, but also my really bad habits. I've shared this on Instagram, I've shared this on Twitter. I want you guys to use me as an example for my horrible mistakes that I've made. And again, the goal shouldn't be to be perfect. I'm not a perfect trader. I don't know where the peak is. I don't have a crystal ball. The goal should just be to be happy to be able to exit in the green, right? At any indication or where I see there to be a price target for myself, I should be okay with exiting. And if that's my plan, then I should stick to it. And that's the point of being disciplined, right? That's how I see it. And looking back, big picture, again, am I really going to care for the additional 13K? Maybe. But ultimately, what's a better habit to have? To try to make the most amount of money in every single trade and hold it beyond belief, or lock in profits when there's potential indication of a resistance or when it hits your price target, right? Remember, I started today off red. I ended 7,000 in the green. That's a positive takeaway, right? And remember, regardless if it's a green day or red day, you always want to revisit the idea of like, what could you have done better? And just because you had a green trade doesn't mean that it was a good trade to take, right? There's a lot of times that we get really lucky. And that's one thing that you also have to remind yourself. And again, I love using myself as an example, so you don't have to. Or so you don't have to make that same mistake. But let's go ahead and talk about Nvidia real quick. I want to talk about what exactly was reported. So I have Nvidia here. Again, this is 100% my opinion. Anytime I see a company run up over 25%, it could continue to run maybe for the next couple of days. That is a possibility. But I always have seen it correct itself. And then this is just something that we're going to have to follow up with again. But Nvidia right now at $3.80 a share after market hours. First off, it was at $755 billion for a market cap. Right now, it sits right under $1 trillion. It's at like $900 billion. It made $200 billion in just 1 hour. Crazy, right? That's the world that we live in today. And I made 7K. Just kidding. But one thing that I want to show you is first, let's look at the overall big picture, right? Looking at the big gap up. If you look at the day chart, again, it's not going to show you because it doesn't show extended hours on my day chart. But from 346, we would be right on up here for at 380, right? So this would put us at all-time highs. So once the market opens tomorrow, as long as we're still opening right around 380, that means that it would put Nvidia right around there. So all-time highs, Nvidia nearly $1 trillion company. But why? What exactly was shared? That's what I love sharing on my channel, the why, the root of the reaction, right? And again, feel free to look into it, do your own due diligence. This is shared by CNBC. First, let's talk about earnings, right? We've talked about this. If you're part of my LPP team, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's the earnings, and then there's the earnings call where they forecast a guidance call, right? EPS. So the EPS that they expected, 92 cents. What was reported, $1.09. Beat EPS, which is earnings per share. Revenue was expected to be 6.52 billion, 7.19 billion. Pretty significant. Originally, when this was reported, and again, originally, I don't even know if it'll show me on the 1 minute. It should, but it's so small that you can't even see it. Originally, Nvidia was pulling back right when these earnings were reported, but it's during that guidance call. And there's a funny joke that was being said on Twitter. Everyone take a shot of tequila or whatever it is, every single time one of their executives say AI. It was revolving all around AI, right? I actually made a video a couple days ago, and it's based off of an article that I read. I shared the article with you guys, but it stated, right? It says Nvidia reported first quarter beating expectation with a stronger than expected forecast that drove shares up 26% extended hours. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said that the company was seeing surging demand for its data center points. Do you know why this is? It's supposedly is all because of what it's experiencing because of AI. And that's a huge area of demand. Remember, Nvidia produces chips. And that is something that, again, as AI becomes more powerful and more popular, they're going to need very powerful chips. Well, who's one of the most powerful chip manufacturer? As of right now, Nvidia is a leading competitor. So is AMD. So because of Nvidia's positive reaction, again, 24%, AMD, which is Advanced Micro Devices, gapped up 8.1%. Do you see? Isn't this so cool when you see one stock positively influence another stock, although they're two separate companies, but it's because that marketplace is benefiting both of them, because one has stated that there is surging demand for the entire marketplace, right? It's kind of like, how much money can we make in this marketplace? Well, now we can make more because of the demand of AI, and that benefits both parties, right? And not just that, but then it benefits overall tech, right? And that's why we experienced the 1.42% increase in NASDAQ, right? Oh man, crazy world that we live in today. But just wanted to share it with you guys. Wanted to show you guys my good qualities of today, my bad habits of today, what I could have done better, and also, of course, breaking down what caused Nvidia stock to gap up and why maybe you're seeing some of your stocks gap up after the market closed. But yeah, very happy with how today played out. Very grateful for it. I'm excited to take on the market with our LPP team tomorrow for our live trading session. Again, I can only invite you, right? If you want to be able to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, click that second link in the description. Learn more about it. We're running our biggest sale right now. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and you'll get to watch me trade live every day. You see my entries, you see my exits, you hear my thought process. It's not for you to copy what it is that I do, but it's just to understand my thought process that leads to either the good or bad trade. Ask yourself a simple question. Would it, you've watched my videos, would it be of value for you to have access to my live sessions? And the way that I break things down, do you see value in that? If so, great. If not, I respect that, and I wish you nothing but the best here on YouTube. So appreciate your time. Hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.